is Ron Lawson from Dirtbike Magazine. With all the attention that the new Yamaha YZ450F got earlier in the week, there was one model that slipped under the radar. The 2023 Yamaha YZ125X off-road bike is new for next year. The reason this excites us so much is it would have been easy for Yamaha to let this bike go unchanged for years. It's a very specialized bike, and it probably doesn't make much sense on a spreadsheet to make dramatic changes to a bike that's only been in the lineup for a few years. Plus, we can imagine guys sitting in Yamaha's boardroom saying that the 125X will eat into the sales of the YZ125 motocross bike. Do they really need to make two 125 two-strokes when the other Japanese companies don't make any? For us, the answer is yes. Apparently, the enthusiasts in Yamaha's boardroom won out over the accountants. We thought the YZ125X was more fun than anything in Yamaha's line when it was introduced 3 years ago. We just thought it needed a little more power, and now it looks like it might have it. The motor is all new, at least new to the X model. It's similar to the 125 motocross bike that was all new in 2022. Every functional part of the engine is new, including the cylinder head, piston pin, connecting rod, crankcase, and expansion chamber. It has a Kian PWK38 carburetor with a throttle position sensor and 3D map-controlled CDI unit. The intake design is all new, and it has a V-Force 4 carbon reed valve. It got a new, flatter seat and a narrower fuel tank design, along with new body panels and slimmer radiator shrouds. In order to make it into an off-road bike, the compression ratio, power valve timing, and ignition map have all been altered. The gearbox is new, although the ratios are the same as those for the motocross bike. In order to go off-roading, the bike has a reserve petcock, an 18-inch rear wheel, Dunlop MX33 tires, and an O-ring chain. The KYB SSS fork has been upgraded and is similar to the unit used on the YZ250F, but with smaller wheel lugs to accommodate the smaller axles of the 125. The shock features reduced friction Kashima coating internals, and both ends have specific valving for cross-country riding. We haven't ridden this bike, of course, but we know what to expect. It has all the same changes as the 2022 YZ125 motocrosser, which we love. That bike has slightly increased engine performance over the previous YZ125, but more than anything else, it feels like a more modern bike because of the flatter riding compartment. The previous version felt a lot like it did back in 2005 when that chassis was developed, and motorcycles have changed since then. 125X falls into the same category. The previous version had the ergos from a couple decades earlier. Setting aside the engine performance, the new 125X would be appealing just because of its new ergo. It's also worth noting that the 125 two-stroke market is changing right now. KTM and Husqvarna 125s will be fuel-injected and electric start only in 2023 with no Kickstarter and no place to even install one. That will certainly appeal to some riders, but it seems to us that the very rider who is likely to be drawn to a 125 will also be drawn to the simplicity of a bike like the YZ. No battery, no EFI, just a conventional carburetor and a Kickstarter. We should be getting a YZ125X to test soon, so check out dirtbikemagazine.com for the latest. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.